Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Start or hand this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hand this one, yeah. Creme de la creme. First, make we see how far your back bend. If you don't know how, get less of a current. Turn your body round like a smoothie or the blend. New dance trend. Style we no borrow, style we no lend. For sure, we no the beg no friend. From in the thing far way back when for the elders and the children. Can't do the thing till they gonna so do it like charge. Back it up in the garage. Make them know we squad living large. Hold a salute every sarge. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme. We like when you shake it. Never gonna DR if you can't fake it. Entire yam, heart and thick. Mama take 9 months to make it. Act like you didn't need Johnny cake before you bake it. Take a pass to the cars, then twerk it. Then your style you can't buy the new market. All of the styling bang surpass it, yo. Watch when they blaze it. Have the tremble like we don't tease it. Tell the DJ, rewind it. Bust a sweat and work it. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme. From Baka Jungle all the way to Yabra, Corozal and Dangriga. Check Pamali's sister Julia, teaching the tourists the key kaka. Through the alley and the plaza, no jump past 41-mile marker. If you want something extra, I want you that feel Librata. There for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme.
Alright, brother. Lisa, brother, they had a read there. So good to the five already.
Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10.
Greetings from a chilly Belize City, as the making for another night of below normal temperatures here in Belize City. I know where you are up there in the far frozen north. It is really cool, but for us, this is cool, real chilly. I am G. Michael Reed, and we invite you once again to another podcast live from New York City. Of course, we're putting input from Belize City, from Los Angeles, from New York, all across the globe. We're bringing to you the topics that are trending. We're going to be joined by Joe Cowie shortly, Lisa Castanedas shortly, and we hope that Gregory Morrison will be able to make it tonight. We have some special guests this evening, and we're going to be dealing with this topic that just won't go away. And I don't think it will go away anytime soon unless we are able to come up with a compromise that will be uh, what acceptable to all parties involved. I don't know that everybody's going to be happy. We're going to have to come to that realization that whatever comes up, there'll be some compromising for sure. And we want to make sure that everybody is able to come away from this feeling that they're not, at least not cheated. Even if they didn't win altogether, they're not getting cheated. So let us see what's going on. I see Lisa on the screen. Good evening, Lisa. How are you?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Well, loud and clear. Yes.
I'm a little stuffy, but I'm here.
All right. Wonderful. I hope you feel better soon.
Thank
Um,
you.
good evening to all our regular listeners. We're hoping to have you looking out every Wednesday evening to hear the Sea Smoke Show. As they say, when you see smoke, you know there's gonna be fire. We have I see we have a guest in the house. Is this Dahlia? Dahlia, say something. Make I see if I can hear you.
Hi, good night.
All right, good, loud and clear. Yes, that's Dahlia Camy, Camy. Is that it? Dahlia Camy.
It's just
Dahlia
that's my
Camy
short
Show.
name. I'm Dalia Camilla.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys, you have two
Forget
other
the
names
rest.
there too. Yeah, please, thank you. Yeah, but you're here representing. You're a Mayan, I believe. Yeah, the names have some
Well,
Mayan.
good night. Good night, Mr.
Yes,
Murphy.
yes, ma'am. Good night. So you want to tell us a bit
Well,
about yourself?
good night to everyone.
Okay.
Good
Sure.
evening.
Thank you, Mr. Mike. My name. Good evening from the beautiful Jewel, of course,
Okay.
Belize, and from Toledo. I am Dalia, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I came here as a Belizean, as a concerned Belizean.
Okay.
Of course, I am a proud Mopan Maya as well, but I stand here
Wonderful.
as a Belizean, a concerned.
All right. I see Joe came in. He's trying to come in. We heard the echoes again. So apparently he's having the same issues as before. Joe, yeah, I hear you. And I hear one little echo somewhere back in the background though. Yeah. And you got a little muffled again, so that the microphone to get the same problem was giving you before apparently. All right. But anyway, let us proceed. Hi, teacher. I see you're in the house, not on screen, but certainly in the neighborhood. So we're glad to have you on board. And again, to all our listeners every week, we do the best we can to keep you entertained for the next 2 hours or so, and try to flesh out some of the issues that are out there. Belize now is going through well, it's a shock. Hofes is closing. That a long time institution on Albert Street. The new bridge is open. I already have an accident on it, so there we're just we're chock full of happenings here in Belize. Of course, the hot issue for today, the hot button issue, is the Mayan land rights and the what is it? Is a claim? Is the it's communal land rights as such. But we have a couple of people on board who obviously are gonna tell us another side of this story. A while back, we had Miss Christina Cook, and she was it Cook or Chuck? I don't recall, and I think she had corrected me. I think it was Cook, and then we had some other villagers from down south. But we really need to get to the bottom of this matter and find out really what is going on. Dahlia, let me ask you first of all, because obviously you are not on board with the communal land matter, are you?
What? Hold on a second, chairperson. Can we introduce Mr. Is that Mr. Evaristo? Correct?
You mean behind Dahlia?
Behind Dahlia, there's another gentleman as well that's also a
Before
part of the
before
show tonight.
I say anything else, I would like to also let him introduce himself because he's here.
Good
Okay,
night.
sure.
Thank you for having me on this show. My name is Evaristo Chop from San Miguel, and I'm a Kekchi Maya.
Okay, so we have a Mopan and a Ketchi in the house, right? Correct? Because
Yes.
yeah, you said you were
So,
Mopan.
as you were saying earlier, I think we're having a little bit of.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a Mopan. I'm a proud Mopan Maya. But like I concerned Belizean due to the issues we are having with this communal and land versus land title, no? And lease. If you would
So
like to take that in that manner.
I'm happy that you guys have finally decided to come forward, because for a long time we seem to be hearing only one side of this issue. Apparently there are Mayans who aren't happy with the way this is going. Is that correct?
Yes. Few of maybe I can say to say this first and foremost, I am not going to say I am representing on behalf myself. I want to refrain from saying those terms or using those terms on behalf, or I am saying I'm here representing a mass can be able to express my concern as a Belizean, like I said earlier. Maybe all with this communal land versus the land title here in Toledo. I know a lot of times people see on Facebook, on news, like living it, like me as a Belizean living in Pueblo Viejo, Toledo, living it and seeing it is two different things. And I know, like when I read and kind of like it's too much to follow up on comments and so forth. And also, well, and they don't really actually see or know what is the problem that's happening within our district, especially. And I know here we are Evaristo from another neighboring community. I think we are fortunate for us that we can be able to express our concern. And this is one of the places that you guys allowed us to come and express or share to the world what is actually happening. And just listening to one side of the problem.
All
so
right.
if you want me to go in detail, I would just quickly go.
All right. The problem is
Yes,
you're
sorry.
breaking up on us from time to time. We're getting the gist of what you're saying, but you're gonna have to try to
Okay.
yeah. All right. Go ahead. Let me ask you first of all. You're not gonna speak in on behalf of any group, and you made that clear. But how many people? What percentage of the Mayan population do you believe feel the way you do, which is not in agreement with what is going on so far?
Well, if I can say with this, if I from the people, especially those who are who has before holding a land title and a lease land. More than almost 10,000 people, because of this consent order that came into effect, a lot are being seized, or the government ceased from collecting their tax, and they are actually being directly affected by. For example, in my family, I have all land title and lease, and that is me to come be upfront with this concern when it comes to communal land and and also apart from those people that want to hold a land title, but they are afraid, or they are very quiet, passive. At the end of the day, it is the Constitution that we as Belizeans, we right to own a land title, no?
Yeah. Okay. Again, I'm because you're having pauses. I'm not sure when you're finished or not finished. Dalia, do you find that the Mayans on the other side, the ones who are in favor of land rights, are more aggressive than you guys are? Is this why that it's kind of like the squeaky wheel getting the grease, that they're getting the attention when you guys are not being listened to? Is that what it is? So we had put that back up there again for me. I was trying to read that. I believe. What did you see? What he was saying there, Lisa?
Mr. Elston was asking if we could be more productive by asking the issues rather than the messengers.
Well, we named start yet, brother. Dalia, you're a here go. This is a Rob Coleman, whoever this person is, but he's not too complimentary to you, Dalia. We're hoping to get into the issues, Mr. Wade, but if you give us a minute to just get started. We're having technical difficulties, as you can see, as it is, because I'm not hearing everything that the lady is saying.
Yeah, it seems like their screen is frozen for the time being, so they may have to exit and come back in.
Can you hear us? Hello. Hello. Dalia, can you hear us?
Doesn't seem like they can hear us. Their screen is frozen.
and that's a shame. I see Joe came and went back out. He's also having technical. I don't know. Is the cold affecting it? Because we don't usually, you know.
I know.
I'm hearing you well, Deidre, Lisa.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, just while we wait for the others to join us again, maybe we could discuss other topics that are in the news today until they get back on. I know there was an attorney this morning, Mrs. Sabito, who spoke very eloquently about the land rights as Belizean. Not specifically as a majority group of people. And one, she made clarity that we should look at this whole situation as Belizeans and not as a specific ethnic group. We're only going to create more issues with that idea, giving one group leverage to their. It will only cause us to have the Garifuna, the Garinagos, the Creoles, the East Indians, to create, create friction amongst each other for, for the same rights that we all have rights to, which is to be able to own property in this country. But she gave a very educative synopsis of what the Constitution says. So I think we also have to take in consideration how we're going to establish a resolution to the demarcation and to address the consent order amicably amongst Belizeans, rather than just rather than just making it sound like it's only for the Maya community.
That has been my sentiment from the very start. I think we need to understand that we're all Belizeans, first of all. Second of all, we're not a big country, we're a small country. We have a number of ethnic groups, and everybody's jostling for importance. I was never in favor of the Garifuna Settlement Day celebration, because I think that ought to be one cultural day where everybody celebrate their own differences. Yes, let us celebrate our differences. Let us celebrate our own unique culture and paradigms and whatnot. But do we then put one forefront of the other? Do we somebody step forward and say, well, we are more like Dangriga is the cultural city, the cultural center of Belize, and they've been dubbed that, and has held that distinction for some while. We all have culture. Lila Vernon, you remember, had sung a song, the Who Say Creole no got no culture. We know the Mennonites have their culture. They seem to be drawn off to a side also, and I don't think it's as good for certainly not in the best interest of security of our nation when everybody is off onto their own in a corner, as opposed to being a part of the whole. So
Correct.
I think we need to have to look at this issue from that standpoint. The Mayan communal land rights, and it's interesting that we see people coming forward now who are Mayans but are not on board with that idea. We
Right.
also have to listen to them. We must understand that because now if we have the Mayan land rights and the leaders of that, well, who do they represent if they do not represent all the Mayans? Is there a consensus? Do they represent the majority of Mayans? And this is what we need to get clear.
Right. There has to be some clarity, because it seems also in the last, I would say, the last week or in the last couple of days, the issue has been brought up again. Who the MLA and who are the TAA? How is the TAA elected? What support system elects them? Who's electing them? Because it's also questionable, as it seems, that their alcalde system is being, the system is not as legit as it's supposed to be, versus also with considering that there's city council, and it sounds like not city council but village councils, and it sounds to me that the village councils is the leader of the villages and not the alcaldes. So I'm a little confused of who has authority over these villages. That it hasn't been clarified. At least it hasn't been clarified to me yet. Who's the lead? What's the leadership role of the alcaldes versus the village council?
I thought it was that the Mayan villages had alcaldes while the other villages had village councils. Isn't that the way it works? Let's Joe is in. Let's see what Joe has to say here. He knows more about these things than we do. Joe, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, thanks being here.
All right, you sung better, much better. Thank you. Yeah. So what Lisa has brought up is an interesting point, because you have an alcalde system and you have village councils. Now, village councils we know are elected. The people go there and elect them. Are the alcaldes elected or just appointed?
Well, I must say that this one is new to me because I didn't know they had a parallel system. My recollection is it was the alcaldes in the Mayan villages and the village councils in the village councils, other village councils.
Exclusive.
But the lady there should know hello.
Yeah.
Yes, we're here.
Yeah, I didn't know. I'm saying that they had two parallel systems. I thought it was the alcalde. In the case of
I think it's a what the question that we are all trying to understand is how how are they being elected or appointed, and what role does the village council play? Because in some of from my understanding, some of these Maya villages have a village council, and they have appointed or elected alcaldes, and it doesn't seem like the alcaldes, at least from a report that I read earlier today in Indian Creek, for instance, they submitted, I believe back in November, a letter to the Attorney General discussing their discontentment with their alcalde, and they have a village council, and their village council wanted him out, and they want to elect their own leadership. So if I'm not mistaken, this, Indian Creek is also part of this communal land dispute area. So who governs over them in that village? Is it the alcalde? Is it the city? Is it the village council?
What I know is for a fact is that there is a village council law. There's a law that governs village councils. Now, I'm not familiar if there is any law that governs alcaldes. Alcalde was more customary thing. And the government at the time, back in my time, deliberately allowed it to be that way. So once you have a village council, then the village council must operate and function and elected according to the law, because there is a law for village councils. And what they had done over the last maybe decade, 2 decades, is that they have expanded the autonomy of village councils, not to the level of city councils or town councils.
Well, Joe, here's somebody who seems to know. He says all villages have all right, the alcalde is a traditional governance system,
right,
not the village council. The village council was imposed by the state on the Mayan people, and he's alleging to systematically divide them. That of course, an allegation I would have to look into before we can just state that as a fact. No,
but what I'm asking the person who is saying that, does he know of any alcalde law? I know for a fact there is the Village Council Act,
which comes from the state. So this is basically what he might be saying. Now here's Mr. Edwards saying all villages have council. Unity Talk show. All villages has village council. The alcalde system is only responsible for law and order. So what is the council responsible for? Management of the taxes? What?
Well, I cannot speak with authority on the area of the alcalde, because I was the minister again of the municipal governments, and we never had any. Actually, we never had any interaction with alcaldes. Our interaction under the law was with village councils. The alcaldes was a more customary thing. So I don't know of any law, but I never remember any law that has to do with alcaldes.
Yeah,
that was more customary thing.
Let me see what this. The Mayan people are the only beneficiaries under the CCJ consent order, and the claim they brought was a constitutional challenge for the violation of their property rights. It has nothing to do with balkanization and departing from dominant society. It is in fact the opposite. They use the Belizean constitution to assert their rights. It would be just like any one of you taking a claim before the courts, which is afforded to any citizen of Belize. The CCJ consent order is from the highest court. All right, we understand that, and I think Mr. Wade put up earlier that there's going to be some vote, and if they get, they're going to be decided by, if they get 75%, then they'll go with the consent order. If they don't, then they won't. But how can that be done if this is coming from the court itself, from the highest court? So we have a lot of confusion in here, and I'm not sure who knows, because I've listened to Dolores, I listened to Marshall-Ek, and I listened to a number of them, and I'm still not quite clear on what exactly is going on here and how we can move forward and dig ourselves out of this quagmire. So,
Mr. Chairman, I think if we read the decision of the Caribbean Court of Justice, only 20 pages, if we read it, the decision is governed now by the Caribbean Court of Justice, which the consent order was not a decision made by the Caribbean Court of Justice. It was a decision endorsed and made into law through the consent order of the two parties. So what the Caribbean Court of Justice primarily consideration was, one, to endorse, support. They had to, because it was a consent order. The two parties that were to come as the respondent and the appellant had changed because they had agreed under the consent order. So what the court did, if you read the court judgment, all they did was to endorse it. Then, all right, that's the consent order, that is the law. The court then deal with only reparation. But the court made it absolutely clear that the government of the day by the Constitution remains, the consent order remains accountable, and the government must continue with exactly the authority that they have. Now, the issue was centered more around the convention that we had subscribed to. The whole indigenous thing came out of the Convention of Human Rights. That was a convention, United Nations Convention, which we subscribed to. And that was what gave them the centerpiece, I would say, the main argument, because it is something that the whole world consented to. Today, we know for a fact that there are about and that come out of the United Nations, there are about 350 million people in the world that are indigenous.
okay, Christina is on board, and thank you, Christina, for putting an input here. The Inferior Courts Act only speaks to the judicial responsibility of the alcalde, but the customary responsibility of alcaldes is not in law; it's customary law only.
Right.
All right, so that yeah. Now, what I'm trying to get, though, that I'm not getting, is that there are apparently two groups of Mayans. Some are in favor of the land rights, the communal land rights, and some are not. I'm trying to figure out what is the percentage of Mayans and who are considered Mayans and who the Mayans considered as being Mayans that are in favor of this communal land and who are not. If we have to go to a referendum, then I believe we might have to, but we have to come to a decision. And I don't see how the communal land matter is going to be worked out. The court has said, all right, there's a consent order, two on our agree and work something out. But what? Maybe they have to go back for a clearer definition of what the directive is, no? Yeah, here's Dalia is back with us again.
Yes, we're back. Sorry about that.
Actually, you sound better now. I mean,
the internet is really giving us trouble down south.
Yeah, it's not a perfect science for sure. So Dalia, how many? If you would put a figure to it, the percentage of Mayans that want to proceed with this communal land program and those who do not, is it 50-50, 25-75? You have any idea? You showed a figure a while ago about 10,000. Is that 10,000 people you believe that you remember telling us that? Choco, are you hearing me?
I think she might be on mute.
I think we'd have seen it mute. I hear. Dalia, are you there? Say something for me.
Yes, we're here. Myself and Mr. Everest is here.
So did you hear the question? What percentage, in your opinion, is for this land, the communal land thing, and how many are against? A ballpark figure, if you will.
Okay. When you ask your yes, it's just a figure. I'm not saying that it's like I said, don't be wrong. It's not within the community, within the Toledo district. If people that holds land, and it's roughly around, like I said, maybe
It's
they can
unfortunate.
check at the land department for those people that own.
Oh, you mean they're and it's unfortunate because we missed most of that. I see Greg is in the house tonight. Hi, Greg. How are you?
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah. And quite a number of people obviously are interested in this on both sides of the issues because we've had comments from both sides. Lawrence Boland now says that customary land is not codified. That is the uniqueness of this law. But
Yep.
so that means, but no, but what you're saying then, there's nothing on paper. There's no
Right.
definitive
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
legislation.
It is just what they declare to be customary practices for
But
the
that
most
don't
part.
help
But
that skelter kind of.
I mean, it's not a customary law. Because if it's a law, it has to be codified. It's a customary practice.
right.
So you cannot be, you cannot put, you
You
cannot.
can't not a customary law. It's not law.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
practice.
cannot codify law. Law is codified already. It's law.
Yeah. So that, but just one habit, one practice, one
Yeah.
paradigm of living.
Yes, yes,
That's-
yes,
That's
yes.
the way to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, but how? What can they do with that? What kind of legality does that carry? I mean, how how can you enforce something like that? Let me see what Monica is saying. It would behoove all of you to really read the related case law. Well, yes.
I think
okay.
we all did that. We all did that many times.
We're moving. We're past that point. I certainly believe. So
Yeah.
if you want us to not discuss it, or you don't want to hear us discuss it, have a nice evening.
Whenever we cannot see it
We are
anywhere.
going to be here for the next 2 hours, and we're going to try to make some sense out of this from what we can, from our limited, because there's a lot of stuff written down there, but much of it is vague. I guess it's like customary law. It is not just not outlined, and you make it up as you go along. Is that it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. But and it's very unfortunate that Dahlia cannot be on with us, Mr. Nakasio. So we're trying to share some of the comments. The ones I believe that aren't in favor of the communal land system is bad for those that use land for collateral and to enrich themselves. Now, I'm trying to figure out which side of the issue he's on, because apparently those who want the land title use it for collateral. They get loans and can develop their way of life,
Property. Yeah.
their property, etc. Now, the ones who are communal, everything has to be thrown into the pot. Is that's the idea I'm getting from it?
Mhm.
And then the body of the alcaldes, if you will, or the leaders of that alliance then decide what happens. Is that it?
Yeah,
Nakasio
what
says
happens and how and they also could put restrictions on how you use it, I believe, because that's usually how they will vote on what the land practice and what the usage should be. But it's a very cumbersome process that I believe in time, even as they set up that structure, they're going to be running into issues on their own within those communities, because it is hard for a group of leadership to dictate to individuals how they are to use their land. We saw that issue with Mr. Miles some years ago when he wanted to build on a part of a property that some had claimed had some
spiritual significance.
spiritual significance, and this is going to happen. It's not going to be a unique situation. That's going to be a continued occurring situation I can see in any of these type of decision making for land use when it gets into communal, because there'll be a group of people that wants to tell people, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but sometime in the very near future, there'll be so much restrictions placed on the usage by these people that prohibits many of the villagers and many of the resident of that communal space as to how they can use it, because they have their own dictates and wishes that might be different from individual practice desires.
My concern is that the Mayans might be painting themselves in a corner. Those who want a communal land and their way of living as such, apart from how everybody else does it. I don't know how practical that is.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
I would like to make this comment again. There was in fact a judgment. That is the judgment now that reigns supreme. The problem that is facing the government and the Mayan Indians is to how to carry out the consent order.
Yes.
It's not a simple thing to do because, unlike other countries, and I'm repeating this, it was done in other countries. Brazil, it was done, but it was not so difficult because they had the land. The problem with implementing that decision by the court is because they both find it difficult to how do you determine what are these lands they're referring to as customary land.
but
Proposal.
Joe, there's more.
And also in Brazil,
Hold on, Greg. There's more than that, though. There's more
Well,
than that because
what-
you have the government and then you have the Mayans, but within the Mayans you have different Mayans, different schools of thought.
Yeah, but-
so that might be a bigger problem than government working out with the Mayan. Who do you work it out with? Who
But
really
that's
represents the Mayans?
But what I was trying to do, if you all, I wish I could lay out this. First, you have a problem. Let's assume that the Mayans were united. That's just hypothetical. They are not. But let's assume they were. Then there was the problem now to decide which land will go to them. The government came forward with a proposal only. A proposal that said that wherever a village, and I think there are about 40 odd villages, I'm not sure, but wherever there is a village with 500 people or less, they were to get a kilometer from what they believe was supposed to be the border of the village, which is where the last house is, the last building.
Right.
To put a circle around that, and then it's 1 kilometer from that. They immediately objected to that, and they demonstrated by tearing up the proposal. The representative of the government told them it was just a proposal. No, that's a problem firstly to try to resolve. What are this land, according to that decision, that consent order is to be given? Now, the next problem that comes in is because there's a difference now among them, meaning the Mayans. Now, you ask a very, very, very important question. And I find it, no, I'm not trying to in any way reprimand or be critical of whosoever leading the charge. But I would have thought by now, you have, let's say, must have some idea how many Mayans we have down there. Let's say it's 10,000. Let's say it's 10. We just hypothetically. If by now they don't even know how many are for or how many are against, that was a very important question, and I am waiting for the answer.
That should have been resolved before it went to the court.
Well,
No,
maybe
you
not.
probably
Maybe
before
not.
court, because you have to wait.
But who are you fighting for? If you're
Well-
not fighting for everybody,
Well, that's true.
All
That's
right,
true.
Okay, I can see that you have a point. But what I'm saying, you could have determined before, let's suppose among the Mayans, they decided that they will have a referendum.
right?
And they will go with the majority decision. And then they had the referendum, and the majority said, no, we're going from communal land. Then fine, the court order is okay. If the majority had said, no, we are not going, we're going for individual, then there would no need to go to the court.
Yeah.
But they
Well,
have gone
I-
to,
yeah,
just
yeah.
allow me to follow it logically, please.
Kind of the point I'm saying.
No, they have gone to the court. I am saying no. And I think, as men and women who maybe have some understanding of the rationality of this whole idea. Now, the problem is one. Let's say you don't have no division yet among them, which we know we have. The first problem which they are trying to solve is to say what are the lands to be given under the consent order.
Well, they
But of
want all of
course-
Toledo.
Right, but
No,
now,
no,
hold
I
on.
don't know.
It's not about whether
I'm
they
just
want.
kidding.
you
I'm
see,
just
it's
kidding.
not- It's not
But-
about
but
what.
they-
We don't want to muddy the waters anymore. The
Yeah,
problem
yeah.
facing them now is one: how do you carry out the consent order for the communal land? No, there is another problem that has come up, And the problem is now that they are divided among themselves. I am saying then that if they are divided among themselves, let's say the majority don't want communal land, can that stop the minority from still get communal land?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Exactly.
I think whoever wants
So-
communal land and based on the consent order, they're entitled to it. But
That's right.
but it will definitely restrict the limits of the communal land. But you mentioned something pretty interesting, Mr. Cowie, and it's about Brazil and those other countries that implemented communal land. But there's a vast difference between Belize and those countries, not only in the size, but in that the indigenous people of those areas were grouped in areas that was isolated from the rest of the general population. So they weren't sharing.
They were on the land already.
They were on the land, and they were in remote areas that did not encroach on the general population. So when you say to them, this is your communal land for your normal practices, it was not taking away from the general population. So it did not cause that immediate effect. It did limit the rights of the rest of the other people in the country, but it was not immediately taking away land and property that they owned, land and property that they utilize in different ways of their normal
Please
activities.
allow me to interject again. I'm sorry doing this, but what I'm
No
saying,
problem.
we need not discuss the Brazilian issue. I only brought it in to accentuate the problem that Belize face compare with other countries. Brazil happened to be one.
Yes.
It is difficult, and I can say this with certainty. I found the document today in my files back when we were in government in that cabinet. And the word balkanization began right out of that cabinet. And the truth about it, that we were trying at the time to try to get them not to go for the communal approach. And we had a minister who was a Mayan. So we were trying to solve the problem without going to court and hoping that we could have convinced them at the time, because we knew that the minute you go for communal land, given the circumstances of Belize, Toledo in particular, it will be it's an enigma. It's a thing that is difficult to solve.
Right.
But now the people are back to know who can help us.
Yeah. Dalia is on. What's the gentleman's name again, Dalia?
Mr. Evaristo.
Ernesto.
Evaristo. My name is
Evaristo. Let me try it right. Evaristo. All right. Now, again, we're trying to figure out how we're gonna work this out. You say you don't want to speak on behalf of any or represent anybody, but you are more in favor of getting your own private piece of land so that you can do what you want to with it, as opposed to get a land where everybody is involved in. Is that correct? Is that putting it right?
Yes.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Now, have you guys come up with a leader? Anybody that because the other side, if I may paint them as such, is led by Christina, quite eloquent and learned on the matter. So she's been quite convincing, and I think that has led to where we are, to her getting success in a lot of the area. But did Christina consult the general populace of Mayans in Toledo, or did she move on basically her own?
What I'm observing from that, you're right saying that we need land titles, and to solve this, I believe that Christina or Emily need to respect the government in some areas, because we cannot abandon the government. We cannot be on our own. It is too dangerous because there's nothing so far I can say that it is in black and white that, listen, the chairman or the alcalde who will give us land title, will it be valid Will the government respect it? So far, we are in doubt of that. So that is one of the big problem.
Well, I do believe that once the laws are written in terms of communal land, the government needs to kind of specifically identify all those procedures as to how land title will be granted, whether it always remain in communal, or could it be transferred to individual, or does individual just have use of that land until some point when the community determine that there's some more appropriate use for that land. We see that in private, where eminent domain takes shape because land use requirement changes, and so government have to make decisions. I'm sure that somehow in setting that up, you may today own a piece of private land, or not own it, but have rights to a piece of private land. And in the communal practice, they may decide that we need to put a water reservoir there where you are right now, and we'll give you another piece of land somewhere else. And those type of things are what we would expect would normally be able to happen, but we'd expect that the government of Belize would set up the structure as to how they can dispossess individuals within that communal land, to make the alcaldes and whoever those leaderships are make those decisions and have it in a way that it follows the law.
No, Mr. Morrison, that would not be necessary, if I can. These parts of I will speak only on what I feel confident of.
Okay.
Once they could have resolved, or if they should ever resolve, that here is the amount of land that will be communal land, if it should ever happen, what they would have to do, then that will be codified into law, and it will be put into a trust.
Yes.
And that will be there indefinitely into the future. You will not be able to subdivide that.
But that is true. But individuals will need to make use of that land to build a house, to build a business, and so it is then the people that are in charge of that structure that will assign that land to the individual that makes that application.
No, I don't think that will be so, because.
So how will an individual get a piece of land from the communal?
Like the strata titles, but what it will be in fact in a trust. And of course.
No, I understand all that. I'm saying, how will an individual get rights to use a piece of land?
Sorry, I think the lady and the gentleman there would be in a better position. But what I understand from the order is that if it's possible to ever determine that this is the communal land, it's not for anybody then after to subdivide the communal land and to give titles to lots within it. No.
So how do you use it then? How do you use it? You can't use it as somebody have to restrict and say where you could build.
No, but what I'm saying to you, you will not be able to take communal land and subdivide among those who are there. It's not that is not the intention with the communal lands as they do.
But how do you use it? How do you use it? How do you make private use of it?
Let us talk to our guests as opposed to each other for a minute. Now there's a Mr. Salam.
Well, Christina is tagging on us, so she could probably answer some of those questions for us, because I think that there necessarily has to be a way for someone to assign land for individual use.
Yes.
There's a gentleman, Mr. Salam, that was suggesting that the Mayans were united, but the government has driven a wedge between you people. Now, Dahlia, what do you think of that? Is it that the government has been dividing you? Is this something that has been some agenda pushed from outside?
Well, let me go back to where I stand from way back in 2015. As like I said, I speak as a Belizean concerned citizen. This issue is not about politics. Let's put religion aside. This is about our land as a Belizean. And I think this is where the problem arises when we want to have it as a Maya land, as a Garifuna land. That is where we are causing dysregulation and tension within our district.
That's right.
Why I am speaking like this, it's about bringing peace and harmony within our community, which we have. The reason why we're having this and why we end up in court is because people, or certain people that are saying self-appointed to be representing and saying, this is what I want to have all for myself. But at the end of the day, like I said, as a Belizean, we need to be more aware of all of the cultures that we're having in our country. It's a melting pot of different culture. We need to have respect. In the Constitution, it states respect each other's culture, race, religion, politics, or whatnot. But at the end of the day, when people are trying to say it's politics, everything is politics if you want to take it in that way. Everything is politics. Religion, whether you're having a party, which color, if you want to, you can even say this is politics when it comes, because you're talking about communal land versus land title, or people that wants to hold an individual land, which is granted in the in the UN Declaration. It states that any or all individuals are allowed to have a land title. So I know some people from my villages are commenting, and I can see a lot of them. I see a lot of people are saying, but at the end of the day, like I said, I will stand tall, and I will speak as a Belizean, and we are given that right as a Belizean. It's stated and it's stipulated in the Constitution. So it's up to me, for example, as an individual, as a Belizean, to hold that right and say, okay, that's my right. That's a given right from ever since we became independent as a Belizean. That's our right as a Belizean. And you think the government will lose if we don't have a land title? You think the MLA will lose if they don't have a land title? Who will lose at the end? It's us, the people. So it's not about being a Maya, being a Creole, or being a Garifuna, because at the end of the day, everybody is a Belizean. We are all Belizean. We are all one and flying one flag. That is how I believe and see it that way. So when it comes to politics, put that aside.
Let me say that I find that progressive and more progressive than some of the other arguments that I've heard.
Fully support on that. That's right.
Having said that, I think politics and the politics that's in this is not only a Belizean politics; it's an international politics where they have decided, you know what, we have indigenous people and they deserve more rights than the ordinary citizen, and I don't find that to be at all fair. And that is my point of view. Now I know other people have different viewpoints, and that's all right too. But how are we going to move forward from here? Dahlia, what do you see happening in your point of view? What would you like to see happen here? Because we have a consent order that says there's going to be communal land. Is there a possibility? Do you see enough people generating enough interest that we can say, wait a minute, we consent, we both consented, so both of us can go back and consent to something else, something more progressive and something more fair.
I think from the time they said consent order, from what I can, or how we can describe what is a consent order, it is a decree. It's given for option whereby people, or as a person, you can either say yes or you can say no to it. It's a consent. It's a decree that's given to you. So that means that it's a working progress where three parties or both parties need to agree on something that will benefit all, and not only one side or the other side. So that's how I see the consent. It is good, like I say, if we would be more educated and more the common people on the ground that's been directly affected are being educated about these consent order. I will give you an example. I might be fortunate. I am no attorney. I'm no law to kind of like segregate all this information when it comes to the technical papers, the documents that we are given. You're giving, let's say, for example, in a community. Let me use an example as in Pueblo Viejo. We barely have internet, and some of these, for example, we're given the draft policy or the court or the consent order. When people go and do these these presentations sometimes when they go and they only have a handful of people. When they send invitations, they only call for a few or a minority that are not probably not even versed with any of the consent order. So when they or so forth, and if let's say for example I would attend a meeting and they know that I kind of like verse with it, or so they don't want you in the meeting. That is directly telling you that okay, you're not a Belizean. That's how I see it. If you're having a public meeting and then you want to share, because you said you're there for the common, right? You want to make sure that everybody understands. But the minute you are a person that can talk or ask questions, they shun you away. They don't want you in their meetings. And that's what's happening in the community. Living in a community and living outside and just seeing it and hearing from the media is two different things.
Yeah.
Sometimes people come and brainwash in the community and tell you, no, this is what's happening. But actually, behind the books or behind
they have their own.
something
They
else
have
is
their own
happening.
interests, right? They have their own
They have their
interests.
own interests. And we should not allow that. As a Belizean and as a community member like myself, we should not allow that. And that's where I start to stand up, because there are a lot of things that is done in our communities, because we might not have the proper internet or so forth for us to reach out to the nation, to the world, to know what is actually happening. So that is some of the pointers that I can bring up across.
Let me comment on something that somebody posted up, because you said you're a Belizean first, and he said shame on you, and I say proud of you. Kudos to you.
I
because
agree.
we are all Belizeans first.
That's right.
I mean, I myself, and let me share you something. Yeah, my maternal grandmother was a Mayan that came across. Her mother brought her across from the Yucatan after the caste wars. So there are many of us that are also Mayan by heritage. So we have some Mayan in us. So where does the land right stop? Am I able to then go claim some communal land right from somewhere? And how much Maya is Maya? So
And not only that, but not only that, we also have to consider. We also have to consider that many of the Mayans that are here are not truly indigenous to Belize. They are relatively recent immigrants to the country, maybe 2 or 3 generations the most.
How many generations do you need to claim?
Indigenous?
Not indigenous.
Well, Maya is Maya.
Because the Mayans are indigenous people. We know that.
Yes,
that's a fact.
But I'm talking about indigenous to Belize.
But to Belize and again we get back to the citizens of Belize, because how many?
Maybe I would like to say something about that.
Yes, please.
For
go
example, let me maybe address the concern that they're saying, what shame on me? Let me say I'm not ashamed. I said from the very beginning that I'm a proud Belizean, number one, and I'm a proud Mopan Maya. But I will not sit idly to see that they take advantage of our Maya people as well, and also our Belizean on a whole. We are living in a country, we're not living from a different world.
Yeah.
We need, I think these self-appointed personnel are, to me, they're abusing our individual Belizean right. I take it like that as a Maya as well, because even within our Maya communities, people are fighting with this land issue, because this one cannot agree, they get a bigger parcel, the next one is not agreeing. We are having a lot of problems within our communities. And then, you know what, sometimes they would say, when they have the alcalde system we have, they would bring you to their court. And if there's biasness, and the first thing they will tell you, oh, we're making decision, we have to call this person that is leading our MLA. She's the one that has the right. Who has the right? It's just like if I come and tell you in your house, if somebody comes and tell you, outsider comes and tell you, I will rule your house. It's not like that. We live in a peaceful community before. Our community was all peaceful. My grandfather days, my great-grandfather days, we were all living in a peaceful community. And that is where we want to go back, because we are all Belizean. It's stipulated in the law. We need to respect each other. And I think our friends and our colleagues that are trying very hard to disenfranchise our harmony, our peace within our community, is giving a black eye to the world. This is telling us that we are not living in peace.
You're from
happen.
You're from Pueblo Viejo, correct?
Yes, I am from Pueblo Viejo, close to the Guatemala border.
Christina is asking, what is the position of your village? Is your are you of one mind, or are you divided in there also like everywhere else?
We are divided in our community. I am speaking because I have served my community as a village council member in the past, and also as an alcalde. Under the alcalde, I was a secretary as well. And that's the reason why I speak up, because a lot of times, most of our community members, for example, as a Maya, it's very hard as a female to be very outspoken, to be able to share your views in a community center. I have been a lot of times, the male guys, they are the male people in our community would tell you to shut up. Like, come on, we are all human beings. We are all Belizeans. We have a right to speak. We know that it's stipulated in our constitution. And whenever somebody tells you that, that is when I start to become very involved in the community and start to speak up, especially for the ladies that are afraid to speak up because of the many challenges we have when it comes to our culture exposure, when it comes to us speaking up. So I think that is where all of this is coming from. That is the reason why, like I said, I am very outspoken about this issue, because it's not only about just taking side for one side or one party. This is about us Belizeans, because at the end of the day, whatever decision is being made is going to affect not only me, it's going to affect everybody, especially the future of our children. Because our children, our families are intermarrying. We're not only having Mayas anymore. And people in a community, if you live in a community, you will actually understand what is the problem. People have, if the alcalde doesn't like you, he will fine you so much. If the chairman doesn't like you, he will fine you so much. And those things should stop within our community, because they should be guided. I don't know if some of them know the jurisdiction of the Village Council Act or the Alcalde Act, because I know for sure. Sometimes I argue with, because one of my dad is as well a village council presently, a member. And because of all of this problem we're having versus the people agreeing with communal and land title, sometimes the village council and the alcalde don't come together to have to consult with the people. So that is where we're having a lot of tension. You see where it's trickling down? It's even trickling down from people not having that community effort or coming together anymore.
Dalia, let me ask one question, Dalia. If a Mayan right now has a tract of land in Toledo, and they implement the communal land matter, will they then have to forfeit that land? Will they have to add that land into the communal package, if you will, or do they maintain their individual title and carry on?
That is why we as a Belizean, like, if, for example, if I hold a land title or a leased land, it doesn't matter if it's just me, but whoever in the community who has, it's like telling me you're giving up your rights as a Belizean. You're giving up your rights if you're not in favor of communal. Let them respect that. If you are in favor of communal, let them respect that. But it should not be a minority or majority. At the end of the day, we should respect our constitutional rights. That's how I'm seeing it.
Are we going to be able to have it both ways?
If I am holding a land title, I'm not willing to give up. I'm not willing to give up because I have invested in them. Our Maya people who have investment on those land titles, they have invested. That is their bank. That is their savings. Probably it has been a generational savings that they have been doing. And now you're going to tell me that I must give up that? That is totally wrong in my point of view. And I think in many that are unable to speak because they are afraid to be targeted.
This gentleman here, is putting something forward here that seems to be contradictory, because he's saying the Mayans won a contention regarding a claim it stand on solid ground. The government owes it to them to ensure that claim is honored. That's interesting. But then he goes on to say that the only drawback is that many of them migrated from Guatemala, and that they're then disrupting our peace and harmony. And then there are two different things there, though. I mean, how do you
but it
reconcile
is
the both?
true. No, I could understand what he's saying.
What is he saying, Greg?
He's saying that many of the Mayans that are in fact recent immigrants from Guatemala, but we do need to respect the consent order since we have gone so far down this road. But what the issue is to determine what exactly is that area that's to be considered as communal land. And I like the position that Minister Dolores had came up with as a first proposal, and to go from that point, 1 kilometer from the last village, and you build out from there. And if you do that, I think it's greed that's capturing some people. There's not an issue in coming up with some very well thinking and proportion to this communal land. It could be settled, it could be resolved, but unless people are becoming greedy and think that they own more than you cannot own every piece of land you ever walked on. You cannot own every piece of land and river you ever fished on. You cannot own every forest and reserve park because you may have planted some plants out there or may have visited that. That is the issue that I think needs to be considered.
Well, this pieces are apparently out of the tube. So, but at this point, I would say the whole indigenous matter has put some really serious complication into our whole way of living. Because how are you really going to give some people preference over others? Because this is what it boils down to. There should be a way to treat private land titles holders, and then still, you give them land title and also communal land? Because I do not think that you can have it both ways. Now, Christina is saying, Greg, that you're saying Dalia is a recent immigrant from Guatemala. I don't think he said that, Christina. That's not fair.
Yeah, Christina is just pulling my leg.
Bernita,
I don't know what Dalia's history is, but I'm saying that many of the people they're citizens of Belize. But does that make you entitled to indigenous land rights claim on Belize if your practices are just very recent? The reason is that come up against many Belizeans that have lived and occupied in that area for hundreds of years. And the more recent immigrants that have just swollen the population of Mayan in that area has been within the last 50, 75 years. They have been Belizeans of Creole, Belizeans of West Indian, Belizeans of Garifuna, and Belizeans of Hispanic descent that have lived and occupied that space and have made use of it. They did not have a claim. They did not make a claim as the Mayan did, but now they are usurping everything and taking away everything else from all the other people based on what they are calling indigenous land rights claim.
And this gentleman is making a point that has been raised here before. The High Court is clear: we can't have both systems. It can only be one system. If we are to go with communal land, it will be collectively owned. No one in their right mind will then invest because they don't individually own any piece of land. Nothing is theirs.
That's not true, That's not true, because if you go from how communal land is in the United States with Indian tribes and stuff,
those are reservations, though.
It's the same. It's the same idea. It's the same idea.
I don't think so.
In terms of communal, the reservation is a different word. But in terms of communal land and communal usage of the land, they do, and that's what I was trying to point out to Mr. Cowie. Whoever the commissions are for those Indian tribes, they do allocate.
us, the people that have invested, it's going.
I'm not hearing you good.
Is it going to be government going to compensate?
Yeah, we're not here, but it sounds like she's asking who will compensate those people who already have land titles that will be losing those land titles.
Well, they're asking the government to do that, and that's the impossible and tricky task. And I don't think
Wow.
it should be so. I think what has to happen is communal land have to coexist with private land titles that have existed there, particularly those that have been well before the consent decree.
Let me
Right.
say this again, though. I think the only solution to this is to find out what percentage of the Toledo is Maya. What percentage of those Maya are truly indigenous to Belize, who didn't come over, say, in the last X amount of years. Divide the percentage to match that land into lots and give first dibs to the Mayans. Let the Mayans have a piece of land. Then who wants to be communal, let them come together as a cooperative
Exactly.
and work together in that manner. But to just say, well, we're going to force this on you, for instance, Dahlia and the other people who aren't in favor of communal land, I think it's grossly unfair to force on them a system that they're not in agreement with. And they're also Maya, they're also Belizeans, of course, which are the primary thing here. And they have to understand, first and foremost, you're Belizeans, we have laws. In fact, the very constitution that they went to the court with was the Belizean constitution. So obviously, they are abiding by the laws of Belize. And we'll have to, going forward. Dahlia, you back?
Yes.
Mr. G. Mike, can I say some things?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah, I want to say that I want to make it clear that for those listeners, viewers, that I am not representing San Miguel. I'm not speaking on behalf of San Miguel.
Understood.
I don't hold no post or position in my village, San Miguel, but I'm a resident there. I'm a villager there. I born and grew there. Now, what I'm seeing with this MLA, what Christina is getting more points is going out there, foreign countries telling that we live tradition. Now, let's be real. Me, I am on nobody's side, but this is what I see in my village before, present under MLA, and the future if we fully go under MLA. Now, tradition. She is taking us back from I don't know where, because as far as I'm concerned, we once lived tradition, but I can recall that now some of the traditions that we have in the village are just naturally dying because the village is populating. We're getting more modernized. I can recall some just 10 years ago, we still had fahina, and now we no longer have fahina. And do we intentionally kill that? No, it's just naturally because there's nothing else to chop in the village. Now, tradition, this is where she is getting things complicated, because people from out there, to hear things than to see things are two different things. I wish those people who she go and talk to take a visit in the villages, come here in Belize in the south and see with their own eyes what we're going through. With this land, yes.
Yeah, but go ahead. You're on a roll. I know with the land. Go ahead. Continue your thought.
Right. With this issue, back in the days, again, we live tradition. We did not need like cut lines, boundaries, pegs. We respected one another. But now you cannot do that now. People, we have children going to school. We want to uplift our lives in maybe building a nice cement building. I don't want to sleep on the ground again. So our life is being modernized. So we have to find ways and means of how we can uplift our life. And by one way is by getting a land title, because getting a land title is like you're coming out from poverty to you're upgrading your life. Because we have to be real. This land issue, I I really, I'm not fully, I'm not fully in support of MLA because my experience, this is not a personal issue. Anybody can go through this. What I have observed, what I have seen, what I have witnessed, what I've personally experienced under village leaders, especially in my village, before, under MLA, and in the future, if we should go fully under MLA. I have observed that when I can recall that when I come out of primary school at the age of 14, you straight go to into Fahina, cleaning of village. I believe now that if I can say, I think about it now that maybe that could have been a child abuse. It has been happening for so many years, but why we in the South, we never go public, we never get on the media and report what we're going through, and people from outside see that the alcalde system is good, it run the village good. No. And now imagine if we give the full powers in the hands of village leaders under this MLA. It's like we're forming a little government in our village, and we can't have two boss. There's one boss, and that is the government. I can understand. This is where I stand. We have to shake up the government same way, because government is corrupted. I'll be real with that. And MLA is corrupted as well. And I can give reasons why government is corrupted and MLA is corrupted. In a way, with this MLA, that's why I wanted to speak from the very beginning, because we had internet difficulties. That's why I couldn't express myself. No, this is basic things what many villagers, or from my village and others that I've spoken to. Where is the money? The 1.8 million. What help are we getting? Nobody have come to me and said that, okay, my child was given a scholarship to MLA. Nothing as such. Where the money is going? Is it in which account? Is it under Julian Trust Society, MLA, TA, and are we going to have the same set of people working under MLA? Because I might get to understand that, because I might get to understand that if you work under MLA, you will know the facts. But if you don't work, then you don't know the facts. That means they know what is going on, but they don't disseminate information to the majority.
Is there a communal land, a communal account where the money goes into?
Right. That's what we want to know, yes, as a religion. And I think we as Belizeans, especially the Mayas, if our names is being used on behalf of the Maya, then me as a Mopan Maya and him as a Quechua Maya, we need to demand, well, that's going to be our money. That's our money. It's been rested on our behalf without our consent. Yeah. Then now it's the time we need to start to demand those things. We need to start to demand, where is the money coming from? How many? What is it being done with? For example, I'll give a quick example goes to them interfering with our development when it comes to our communities. Those things is a given. We elected a government that needs, that is in the law, we elect. So in return, whenever we need anything when it comes to development within our community, it's the government's duty, because we are all paying taxes like any other Belizeans. So if we need a school, if we need a health post, a clinic, a hospital, or anything of those vital resources that we need within our community or development or projects, then we have that right. No one or no individual should stop that, because it's going to be for everyone that will benefit. It's going to be everyone that's going to benefit. So in our questions or things that we want to hear from the public as well, they need to be, I know a lot of people are very passive about it. They're afraid, like I mentioned earlier, oh, because you are a UDP, you are a POP, because of this religion or that religion, you are afraid to speak up. But no, we need to take this matter more seriously and more as a Belizean. And in general, we need to speak up, and we need to learn to speak up. When it is right, it is right. When it is wrong, it is wrong. And this is where we need to hold our even our elected officials. When it comes to these things, we need to hold them accountable. When it is wrong, it is wrong. These certain self-appointed organizations saying that they are lobbying on behalf of our Maya people. So let me ask this question to them now then. Maybe this might be the opportune time. How many schools have they built? How many bridges? How many highways with the millions of dollars they are requesting on behalf of the Maya people? I don't know if any of my Maya people or our Maya people can come and say, you know what? I went on a scholarship because it's under the MLA. Or I went to further my education because of MLA. Or we have a hospital I can go, it's name of the Maya people. Then I, for example, as a Maya person, would support the MLA, because I can see tangible evidence. I can see that there is something that I can say, you know what? Yes, they are requesting money on behalf of the Mayas, but I can see where it's benefiting. It's going to work for everyone. And that's not happening. And now
That
they are
I understand, but that's quite different. That's quite different
But it's a
than
strong point,
communal. No,
nonetheless,
no,
though.
that's a valid point to what's
It's a
happening
strong
with those.
point.
But that's a whole different issue than communal land rights,
it
which
intertwines with the same communal land.
I don't see it being far away. I don't.
Yes.
You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about the traditional way that they're trying to hang on to, and I thought about the Mennonites, and there's some of them who are maintaining that horse and carriage, that old style, and some who are wanting to step into the future of technology.
Before I forget something, I want to point out something when it comes to those traditional way. Let me give or use an example within our community, especially within us living closer to the border. A lot of people move away from those traditional practices, if you want to call it. My dad is a farmer. My grandparents are farmers. I myself used to go to the farm when I was younger, and a lot of times now, you know what people are doing? They're moving away from farming. They're going working outside of the district or within the country, and then the modern ones, I can even include myself sometimes now. Before I used to go to the farm. Now I don't want to go to the farm because why? I am not really ready to toil the soil, or maybe I am too tired to toil the soil, or I'm not really properly know the way of farming or so forth. And a lot of these younger generation don't have that practice. So our younger generation are looking at a different perspective. Maybe let's say in my case,
well, existence at that time was at subsistence level, right? So
let me interject here for 1 minute though, because if you're saying that could this be a way to try to encourage our people to stay into farming, because we need farming for sure. We need farms, and we need people who will do that. And if our people are moving away from that, could this maybe be then, if we see a positive in it, where we will keep that part of our society alive, such a necessary part. We have to feed ourselves.
Of course, it is very important, and that is where we need to elaborate more on getting our younger generation into farming as well, because that's why I'm saying a lot of or many people are moving away from it. Like we living in the village. Let's say, for example, we're buying corns from the Mennonites. We're buying beans from the Mennonites, or because let's, for example, the people, those that are actually crying and saying communal land, those are the same people within the community that are lending our lands. Guatemalans are our neighbors. They are human beings just like you and I. They need to eat, they need to survive as well. But a lot of things that illegal things are happening within our communities, all those adjacent zone communities. A lot of things are happening. Then you're going to tell me communal, but then you are giving those.
Yeah, it seems we lost it there for a minute. Boy, it's getting It's getting interesting. I'll tell you that. A few things are coming up that weren't coming up before.
Right. It's getting very interesting.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the
yeah.
bottom line,
But unfortunately, it's not clearing it up. It's making it even more convoluted and complicated. No, I don't
right.
know where. I'm looking for a light at the end of this tunnel. I'm seeing darkness.
I don't
Um,
think we'll find it.
I know, yeah. What? But we're gonna have to find some way, somewhere. Not we have to build on fire, but something has to come out of this that's gonna show us a better
Yeah.
way. Go ahead, Dala. You're back.
Sorry,
Did you want to
yes.
continue?
Having yes, as I was saying, so that's why I'm saying, as a concerned Belizean, if you're telling me yes, I want to secure this as a communal, and then that is where the question comes as well. You're gonna tell us we're gonna, let's say Pueblo go as fully communal, right? And then you're telling me what laws are there, what Maya laws that will protect me as a Maya citizen that say, okay, my land as communal is protected. Are you going
But
to tell me
the
that the
question I
MLA
have, the question I have
gonna
in
make,
that is the question I have
yes,
in that you're so close to the Guatemalan border. What happens and
yes.
what prevents the other Mayans from Guatemala to come into Belize and then claim and settle on that communal land and further encroach on Belize sovereignty?
That's another problem. Yes, that's another problem. I imagine immigration will have to
That,
do that.
that is going to, that honestly, it's a really a lot.
Can I, before I exit, Mr. Chairman, can I ask her a question?
Come on.
The people who are supporting the communal land, what is the merits and the benefits that they are expecting from communal ownership? I don't know if she's hearing me.
She's there. Yeah, the immigration is a problem indeed, says Christina. Yeah, not Joe. She's apparently did not get. Did you hear that, Dahlia? Did you hear Joe's question?
No, I missed that one because our internet
Repeat
is
it, Joe.
busy.
Repeat it, please.
I am asking
Can you
that,
repeat it? Can you repeat?
sure, the people who are supporting the communal land, what are the benefits,
Okay.
merits they believe that they will get from communal ownership?
That is what I want to know as well, because like I said, me as a Maya person and as a Toledo resident, that is my question, and that's why I'm saying, what is my benefit if as a Maya person, what is the benefit? What are the laws for our Maya people if you want to take us in communal land? Who is going to make those laws? Are we going to be involved, or are we going to be segregated as well, like how they did the consent order before? They did not have a full consent of the community, because I was a part of the community. I wasn't a part of any meeting before they signed those consent order, when they took the government to court. So that's the reason why we are here, where we are in this muddy water.
Has the government
This was
suggested
made by a group of leadership that thought they had the interests of the community, but mainly probably their own interests.
Yes, that's how I see it. That's how we see it, how I personally see it, and that's what has happened.
Has this government suggested any help for the Mayan as far as helping them to get back to the farming? What industry is available to the Mayan in Toledo?
Rice. There isn't much industry.
Farming? Is it farming? Is it really?
Toledo gets so much rain. It's very fertile land, but it's limited to what can be grown in that type of environment. Just season.
Well,
I think
the
just seasonal
cacao is being grown, and cacao is good for mixed chocolate and cocoa and
yeah, very seasonal type
stuff.
of stuff. Yeah, very seasonal kind of stuff. I'm sure you could grow like vegetables and that type of stuff, but it's very limited, I believe, what can be grown in that particular high rainfall.
Dahlia, what are some of the things that the Mayan engage in Toledo for sustenance? As far as you know, is there anything outside of farming?
When it comes to industries or factories, if you're talking about,
Yeah. Okay. I'm also
If we
wondering.
want to see when it comes to success, when it comes
Yeah. I'm wondering also what that is situation. How does oil and the prospect of oil affect all of this? Is
That's
there,
affect everything. Those are the
you know,
key. Those are the key that affects
seriously,
everything that's going on.
might this be
All
a
the
part of
natural
what is
resources.
influencing um, the drive towards try to acquire these lands in Toledo? Do you know how much land, Dalia, the MLA are claiming for Toledo? Is it all of it? Some of it?
I will ask your indulgence here, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I think there's a delay going to her. It's reaching her late. Here she comes. Yeah, Daniel. Oh, did Joe say he was
Can you
leaving?
hear?
Yeah, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay, all
Mr.
right.
Cowie left.
Yeah,
I
Dalia.
have I have a quick question that someone asked in the feed, and they're asking, why are non-Maya people so interested in our land rights? Maya people, ask yourself this question.
Because it's Belizean rights.
And I think that's the
That's the
bottom
only.
line. It's the what they can't drift away from as far as hard as they want to. This is one country, one Belize, and again, the very laws that they took to the courts are the Constitution of Belize. So obviously they are abiding by the laws whether they want to or not. To suggest then that they want to, again, I draw the comparison with the Mennonites who are driving the horse and carriage. They can do that if they want to, but would it be fair for the rest of the community to force that upon them and demand that they return to that way of life? Is it right? Now, Christina is inviting you, Dalia, to community meetings. I don't know if you have not been going. We have a gentleman here that have not you have seen. Hello, let me when Christina, your name is there. All right, Mr. Tew, are you there? I think we met. Your mic is muted,
if you
Mr.
look
Tew.
on community meeting, there you never know.
Tew, is it Tew? Your mic is muted.
Let me, you see,
All right,
Go ahead, Dahlia.
Go ahead, Dalia. You have the mic.
yeah, I just wanted to respond to that. Like you see, most of the question that I'm seeing, I don't really want to respond to them or get personal. I'm trying to this issue in general as much as I can. When it comes to me attending a meeting, I mentioned that I was a part of village council. I was part of the system before. I have done my service to my community, and that's why I'm speaking. And sometimes they deprive you of not speaking as a female, as a woman in a community. And also, I would like to say that most of the meetings they are hosting or they're trying to host in the community, they only select a few that could go to the meetings, or they go house to house to have a meeting and not in the community center. That
Dahlia,
is where
let
my
me ask
answer
you a
is to her.
question.
If
Let me
she
ask
wants
you a
to,
question because let me
ask
ask you
me
a
that.
question as you say that because I see Christina as a very powerful woman within the Mayan community. How do you contrast that with other women? Did you hear me?
First, let me say, yes, I heard,
Okay.
I heard the question of your statement. Okay, I would like to say this. I am in no, how to say, I'm not gonna say, I must applaud her for the effort of what she's doing. If it would be in the right way, when it comes to transparency, when it comes to representing us as a Maya, then of course I would give her that kudos. But let us not try to be
No,
intimidating or
I'm not talking. I'm not talking from that personal point. I'm just talking her acceptance within the community. That's what I was speaking of. that broad issue of her acceptance, and even having the men listening and following her direction within the community. So I'm wondering, is it truly I know everything is male structured and governed in those regards, but I'm just saying there seemed to have been an exception, or there seemed to be something else going on.
It's not in all the communities she has an acceptance. She sent representatives. Most of the meetings, sometimes she doesn't show up. She would send those other personnel, like her, like the lead alcalde, is it what's his name? The TAA alcalde representative, and so forth. She would never come and say, okay, this is what I have to say. She would send other person or other people to do so.
Okay.
To send information.
Let me shed a little light on that one. We have a couple of things in my.
Oh man, all these important points we're losing.
Man. There's so much we'd want to hear from. I wish this internet was acting well. And we're not hearing you, sir. I don't know if you're hearing us.
I think we lost them. But I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to go back to that question about why are we interested, the non-Maya people. I'm not representative of anything but myself. And to answer your question, to all our viewers, I'm very interested in in this situation. We all are Belizeans living here amongst one another. It is important that we continue to engage with each other. And that's the reason why it is important for us non-Mayas to address the issues and the concerns of all ethnic groups. It does not only have to be about Maya. It does not only have to be about Creoles. It does not have to be about any specific ethnic group. So yes, it is important that we all as Belizeans share the same concern so we can continue to live in an amicable country. None of us should have any hierarchy to each other. We don't live in a hierarchy system anymore. If that is what Belize is today and moving forward to do, then I definitely shouldn't be living here.
Well,
You know
Lisa,
what I mean?
that's the very attitude why some people are concerned about the balkanization, because that is balkanization. So just leave us alone, let us do what we want to do. It's none of your concern. We are all Belizeans, and it is our concern. And whether they want to or not, they will have to talk to us at some point, because we're not going anywhere. I am a proud Creole. I am not going anywhere. And any Mayan that come and tell me they're more Belizean than I am because they were here first, then I was here also. That's the bottom line.
And I do want to say that in general, I don't think any of us doubt or believe that there is not some level of indigenous communal land that should be settled based on what the consent order has declared. But what the issue is, and what we must continue, is that it needs to be reflective of how we live as Belizean. It cannot be that a small proportion of the population ends up with over giant size of the land within that district. It needs to be shared so that other people can have their fair share of the resources and the land, and that there's future set aside for the development of the country.
Mr. Strawn had a very interesting input there, because and it makes a lot of sense. He was saying that he agreed initially with Christina, and it made a lot of sense, but many Mayans are on the move. And not only that, many Mayans are on the move, not only geographically, but as far as culture, and as far as technology is concerned. They're sending their children to school. They're becoming doctors and lawyers and whatnot. So
and Governor General.
So yeah, you see what I'm saying? So that traditional way is just not cutting it anymore. And I don't know that they're gonna can put that genie back in that battle. It's not going to be easy.
I don't think it's intended to. I think for the most part, much of this is about land grab. Yes, I agree that as I said, I believe we all have that support for Maya communal land, but it's just the proportion of the land claim that has become the issue, where it start impacting the rest of the country and the rest of the population.
So how much is going to satisfy them? That's the question. How much will satisfy them, and how much will
I
the
think,
rest of the country
yeah.
be willing to
and
allow?
and we don't know where it will end, because this is just the start, right? It's like trial balloon, and see what floats and what we could get, and then it moves into, there's nothing to stop this, and there's nothing to stop it in the future.
Yes,
What if
yes.
future Guatemalan immigrants go to other cities and spend 3 generations, and then they come back and say, oh, we have, because that's what's happening in PG, and say we have communal land rights based on the history of the country and fact that we are Mesoamerican Mayans and what someone else was claiming. So then we are right back at start zero, going through this again another 100 years from now, with the same issue.
Let me ask something here. How is Guatemala on the communal land matter? I imagine their people
they
are
do
not
not
taking
support
them,
it. They
but,
do
but
not
so
support it,
so
and that's
because
why they're here.
but they happen to have a hell of a lot more land than we do. So if they're
Yeah.
saying they're indigenous to the whole area, why
Yeah.
pick Little Belize if you want
Because
to
we are
settle?
soft and easy, and we didn't have
So
we
yeah,
yeah.
I don't. It opens too many doors for too many ridiculous. Dahlia's Vestina is back again.
No, Dahlia and Mr. Barista are back. But just
Yeah.
and and again, just to add, Miss Christina, I respect her a lot. I respect what she's doing. I respect what she's doing, for those who support the communal
Advocating,
lands.
yeah,
I
yeah.
am advocating for them, and I want to make it very clear to her. I personally, though I don't have any malice towards her. Again, she asked a question, and I want to answer it from my perspective. And my perspective is that we can all live harmoniously. I respect Maya,
But
and I
was it her
respect
that
Maya
asked that
community.
question? I don't think
She
she
asked
asked it. She the
no,
one
she
that
asked
asked
the
it.
question. Yeah,
Okay,
she
go
asked
ahead,
the
go ahead,
question
go ahead,
again.
go ahead.
Why were we
Interested?
not very interested before
I'm surprised.
Yes.
logging
And
industries and so
yeah.
forth? And I need to, and I want to let her know, I was not aware of this situation prior to when this came on the news. None of us were aware of it. At least for the people who live in the diaspora like myself. I'm a giver of all communities. For those people who know me, know that I serve all my communities, all ethnic communities, all marginalized communities. So my reason for me being interested in this subject is just to simply get clarification. I wouldn't, I don't know if I could live under the communal system, but I do respect what they want to do. But I also respect other people's lifestyles that are surrounding them, which are the East Indians, the Creoles. I just think that we should be able to respect all the ethnic groups in the area and not infringe on their traditions and their customary lands as well. So I'm asking for them and the supporters and for the non-supporters to come together and talk with each other. I know that there's a consent out there, but there's also the understanding that they can come together and talk this over more amicably, because it just seems very, very violent, the conversations just from Facebook alone that I've been reading sitting here, it just scares me at the way how people are expressing themselves. Again, we're all Belizeans, regardless what ethnic background you're from. I am a proud Belizean. I'm a proud Belizean Creole, and I'm also a proud American, Belizean American. And I say this again, Belizean is my first nationality, and I will carry it until I die. And I would hope that all Maya people out there, who say they're Belizeans, come together and respect each other's lifestyles. We can do this, guys. It's not hard. This is not difficult. We can all live amicably by not infringing on each other's customary beliefs and our spaces. The Belize is too small for all of us to be fighting for more than what we can have. So more than what you can have is a waste.
I see.
Well, I do wanted to say that we do have to appreciate and respect the Mayans when they came together to challenge the government on the logging concession that they had given to that Malaysian company, because that was an atrocity.
I think everybody applauds that. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that we do believe that was a good thing, and we do believe that right to where the government need to consult with the people, all the people, is something we should demand from our government, and that we need to make sure that whatever moving forward, that however we break up the land, however we do the concession, or however we set private land, that area remain restricted through that government. Whenever it wants to make any type of concession, it has to consult the people, whether it's Mayan or other native people that lives there.
There's a gentleman at the time, and he was
Mr. G. Mike.
Yes.
Can I finish off where I stopped?
Yes, please go ahead. You're the guest. Go ahead. But for sure, go ahead.
Why it's not?
The problem is you're not coming over.
Yeah, he's getting a delay. Yeah.
Yeah, but let me say about this person, because I heard Lisa speaking, and Lisa made it quite clear. I am a Belizean Creole. He put up, I am a Maya Belizean. Now, I don't know if you think transposing those from one to the other makes you more important than anybody else. If you're gonna, I believe that we have to understand all of us are Belizeans first, or nothing after that. Then we really could part ways there, because Belize is one small country and it belongs to all of us. We're willing. If anybody was here first, that the Creole, because we are all the other ethnic groups mixed together. Even the Mayan are in there also, and the white man too. The colonizers are in there, because that's the way the Creole is, the makeup of everybody. So at the end of the day, we are beholden to Belize. Belize is the country, not Maya, not any Mayan homeland as such. We have become a country named Belize. Yes, we have Indians, we have East Indians, and they made it quite clear to point out that they're not Mayan Indians. All right, but that are just colloquial. That a matter of speech. Nobody is trying to bring you down in any way with that. But it's important to understand that for us to move forward, we must first recognize our Belizeanness and understand that everything is for the interest of this country, all ethnic groups included. And that's all I have to say about that. But and Dalia did not make it back up, no? The one interesting thing again, and
Mr. G. Mike.
Yes.
Mr. G. Mike. Right. I want to continue where I stopped off.
Please.
Yes, in regards to the meeting that either held by the village leaders or Ms. Christina herself, I have to say that of all meetings in regards to this communal land, only about 15 people every time. You not including the village council members, the alcalde, chairman, about 15 people every time that happen. That is to tell you that the people either they don't understand or they don't support. It has to be one of them. And that is where San Miguel stand as I speak. I have been in almost all meetings and I can tell you that, and that is happening. And now this is what I see on the government side and MLA side. Now I'll be real. There are some of the things that MLA brought up, which is okay, but some of it are not good. They are not happy because it's like they are telling us what to do with our land. You know, you let's say if I want to sell my property in San Miguel, I cannot sell it to any let's say to any outsiders. You have to be either it either
Mayan,
community,
Mayan.
either a state for the community, and that is the thing that I don't like. Now on the other hand, because they blame the government of 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 bringing in foreigners or concessions in the community, which is not the government. The government is not the sole problem there. I can give you a good example. We have the hydromaya there. Yes, it was pushed by the government, but then who gave the final say? Who signed? It's the very same village leaders, but yet they're blaming the government. Now, presently, we have a serious land issue in my village when it comes to um, lot, house lot, farmland. It was the past villagers did that. Is not the government, because of favoritism, because of family, because of beef. Maybe you have a little problem. One day this man become a village leader and I commit myself. He will remember what happened, So now and on the other hand, we have to shake up the government as well, because the government is very biased and we all know that. So we demand something from the government, that it must respect some points from the MLA, and then MLA must respect some points from the government, like for example, giving a land title, and we get the government lands surveyors to survey. If I want a 30 acres, then the government give me my land title. That one, I believe the MLAs should respect. So those are the things that I watch on both sides.
All right, tell me something. You suggested that the government is biased towards who? The MLA or to the Mayans who are opposed to the land rights? Because certainly they have not been in any rush, it seems, to grant this communal land that we're fighting for.
Well, Mr. G. Mike, I am talking in general. We all know that both parties are corrupted. We all see that. I'm talking in general, not
Not the UDP or PUP, I understand. Yeah, not red or blue. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. But who would they be biased, prejudiced against? Who are they in favor of?
Because look at this. Yes, for example, this hydromaya, they push it hard. They push it hard. Now, if like I said, some of the points that MLA have, it is good, so that the government just cannot come and push things in the community like this hydromaya here. You understand me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So in that way, I don't like that from the government side. For example, lagging concession.
Yes.
You have to respect that.
Well, speaking of national lands, I felt that national lands meant it belongs to the government. If Toledo is going to become national lands, but what that is situation with that? It's already national lands, but I mean, what are they trying to do? What's the end game here, if you will? We'll be so sorry and regret about our ugly decision, but it will be too late. Now, Herberto and Cal. I don't get clear. Try clarify that for me, sir. What do you mean? Because when it becomes national land, you mean when it becomes communal land? The minute Toledo becomes national lands, it is already national lands. It's a part of the nationhood. My brothers and sisters will be sorry. I don't know if he's
I think
talking
he was
about.
thinking communal land.
Yeah, I'm sure. Has to be, yeah. But he then obviously is against it. He thinks it's a bad idea, as do many Mayans. And this is the thing, though. We don't, Christina, if we had a concerted Mayan group, if Mayans were all on board on this, I
Well,
think
you'll
we
never
could.
get all of any people on something, you know.
Well, a
You'll never get all.
majority. We need a
Let-
majority. You need a consensus.
Yes, let me go back. Let me interject, as I think we have missed a lot or some of the points there. When it comes to talking about respect, I think it is said in the consent as well. If you're talking and you want to bode well within a community, within a country, we are a country. Let us respect. If you want respect, let it be both ways. You respect my land title, land title right, lease land, whatever. I will also respect, and we respect the communal land because we have been living in that. But what this organization is doing is actually causing tensions and causing segregation within our community. I don't know if they actually are seeing what they are causing here, because it's not only Mayas living in the community. My family, for example, my family is diverse. We're having people intermarrying. So that is where we need to stand up as a Belizean. We have to respect each other when it comes to that right. So when it comes to this communal land issue versus land title, we have to remember that, like I said earlier,
We're running over time. We are running over time, so we just got a few minutes more, Delia.
we cannot stay and go walking like a crab. Yes, so we need to be more. We need to keep up to the world. We also, just like what is good for the goose, good for the gander. No, if land title is best for me, let them respect that. If they want communal, let them respect that. We understand that is what we're trying to bring here. We are not trying to be taking part for this one or that one, because that is my right as a Belizean.
I don't know that we can have both, though. I really don't think we can have both. We'll have one or the other. But my concern here is
No, I
that
think we'll have to have both. I think
we
we'll have to
can't.
have
We
both.
cannot have both. You can't. That makes no sense. My
Mr.
problem
Mike,
is
I know that is what the minister stated as well. I think even the attorney or Mashalek said they cannot have both. But at the end of
Cannot
the
have
day, so me as a citizen of Belizean, as a Toledo person. So if they tell me they cannot have both in the community, that means they're depriving me of my human rights. That's how I
well,
see it.
no, because if you have one or the other, the majority decides to go one way, then fine. But it's
But you
not
could
only the
always go and live on.
majority.
You could always go and live on communal land. There's
But
nothing.
that's what I'm
to-
saying. They can come together and form cooperatives. That would be the ideal.
No, I don't see how you could restrict that. I don't see somebody could own some land someplace and they could go and live in a communal area. And
Land somewhere else.
I don't see how you could prohibit that. I don't see how
Sometimes
you
I
could
don't want to
restrict
get
the
rid of.
movement of people in
Yeah,
that
no,
regard.
yeah, we're going over time. My concern is that I'm seeing a tribal war somewhere down the line, and
It's
that's
happening.
sad.
It's happening. It is happening, and it's so sad. Like I'm saying, it's
Yeah.
happening, but it has not been covered to the media. Where neighbors are like bloodshed, they're killing each other because of land. It's happening, and it's going to
Yeah.
continue happening if there is no amicable solution that is brought to the table. For
First,
Maya people, within the Maya people, they're fighting. We are fighting, and I'm telling you this because we are talking because on where we live. We're not talking on what we see on the media or what we hear or what some of these people are commenting on
But
Facebook.
people have always been fighting for land. Families have always been fighting
that
for
has been
land.
the cause of most bloodshed in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Guys, we will, Mr. Chair,
we're not hearing about it. guys.
There's
All right.
someone else that wanted to say something.
Ulysses Gray, Guy,
Guy,
yeah.
he's another resident of Toledo that's, he wanted to.
Oh, yeah. You tune in kind of late, and actually we're at the end of the show. But if you have unmute your mic, if you have something to say, please go ahead, and we hope we will get you coming through, because the internet has not been treating us kind this evening. Mr. Guy, your mic is on mute.
Okay, good night, G Mike, and good night, colleagues.
Good night, sir.
Yes, wanted to join this conversation earlier, no? However, I had trouble getting in. You all hearing me?
Yes, we are.
We can
Quite
hear
clear.
you well.
Yeah, in terms of this communal Maya land rights and the consent order, what happened is that it involves 41 villages. And it says the village must be what, 30 years plus for make the ask for communal land, or for to convince its people to say, okay, we want communal land. Mr. Mike, we have some of these communities that are not even 30 years old, and I could mention about 3 of them. And there were no villages that they claim say is a village now, that makes up the 41. There were no alcalde system in place back then, before when the village was formed. And yet now we have them, the alcalde, they are part of the PAA. And we want to understand how the Alcalde Association comes about. Right? They are elected. However, the one that makes up the association, they normally have a general meeting, and at the end of the day, they choose, I don't know how much members make up the association, and they make unilateral decision guided by the advisor and the spokesperson, who they claim, they say, the PAA appoints them to be the spokesperson and the advisor of the Maya people. There is no organizational structure in terms of how these two persons are employed to take on the discussion for the Maya people with the government of this country. End of the day, we have a Belize constitution, and that is the supreme law of this country. First and foremost, we are Belizean. I am a Mopan Maya. My mother is from San Antonio Village. I speak the language, and I am totally against communal land. Yes, we have the consent order in front of us, but many of us do not understand the point that they're arguing, point 5, with this 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers. And end of the day, if they ask for communal land, they will have a piece of paper, but on the one paper, and that will belong to the community. End of the day, for individual title, they won't have access to that. So these people have to be educated properly, and we need people who are genuine, non-sided, to educate the masses of the Maya people in this district. The Maya people have free movement across this country.
You have a couple more minutes, Mr.
Yes, I will cut it short. The Maya people have free movement, just like any ordinary Belizean. They move from one village to another, from a village to urban areas. Nobody stopped them. They have the right. They have the right to apply for a piece of land. They get their farmland within non-Mayan communities. So what's the problem? Everybody wants to own a piece of this jewel, and the only way we can do that is if everyone is allowed to have access to individual title. We have a young man here by the name of Maya Prince. He's here shooting crap on this talk show, saying, oh, communal land. But there is evidence that he is a part of an association who registered at the Belize registry, wanting individual title. So what kind of mixed messages are you bringing to our Mayan brothers and sisters when you are being paid now because to jump up behind
sir,
the
we'll stay away from
spokesperson?
that. We'll stay away from that.
Let's not do the personal thing. I understand.
I'm not being personal, but I am referring to the mixed messages. If we're going to educate people about communal and individual title, then let's be frank and don't try to piggyback on both sides. Like you all said, we can't have two of them. You either be one or the other.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mike.
We'll do this again and look out for us because we have to discuss this some more. This is certainly, we're not ending here with any clarity at all, and we're trying to get to that at some point. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us this evening. We'll see you next week, same time, Wednesday evening. C-Smoke, CY.
Bye.
Thank you all. Good evening.
Thank you, guys.
Beeb say play your position. Don't make nobody live free in your mind or in your mansion. They need to stop them make assumption. Free bars stick like gumption. Chop. Boom, peel it off. Give the technician time for paste the hook up. Big mistake. We judge the content by the cover and not read the book. Boom, peel it off. Give the technician time for paste the hook up. Big mistake. We judge me by the color of my skin and by the way how I look. Then they try rob we culturally. We wax lyrically, spiritually, truthfully, exposing evil spirits and hypocrisy. We do this habitually. Keep the mental vibes up at any party. Levels to my chef game is type culinary. Dropping so many gems they call me jewelry. We no need no chat GBT. We do this organically. Boom, peel it off. Give the technician time for place the hook up. Big mistake. We judge the content by the cover and not read the book. Boom, peel it off. Give the technician time for place the hook up. Big mistake. We judge me by the color of my skin and by the way how I look. Bob say, if they turn tonight, you would have find out how much people they hate you just for spite. We good on this side, so they could have hate with all their might. Hate we cause we bars tight. Cause me on my team, they catch Lee light. Don't try bring your feelings to this fuck fight. Call me Cleveland when a time for take flight. Boom, peel it off. Give the technician time for place the hook up.
Yo, DJ, are you done mixing yet?
Your DJ has only just begun.
The DJ accepts no responsibility for the next record. This is a request.
Yo, what the baddest mix this? No man, tell me nothing. Yeah. Racism is alive and well. If we as black people and people of color don't get ourselves together, form some kind of unification, foundation, we talk economically to this called capitalism business. It's real. Listen to me talk. Racial profiling. It's a serious thing, a bird without wing. Racial profiling. Listen, me king, this one a top of ranking. Racial profiling. It's a serious thing, a bird without wing. Racial profiling. I saw the thing set in a this system. I cannot breathe. Living while black, much less gonna Starbucks, living while black. Up against the clan, living while black. Life in my hand, living while black. Color my skin we under, constant attack. Master race, master plan, the drive, we hold it back. Smoke it on, little rhythm, Give me one drop, your movements, then just can't stop. I cannot sell water as a POC. Permit party will call the COP. I cannot enter a pool as a POC. Pool patrol parlor calling the COP. If I am grilling in the park as a POC, barbecue Betty will call the COP. If I check into an AR and B, my persuasion cannot be a for POC. Racial profiling is a serious thing. Burning a wing. Racial profiling. Listen me, king, it's on your top around king. Racial profiling is a serious thing. Burning a wing. Racial profiling. Them feeling emboldened. Showers them taking is golden. Y'all them lips loose like Snowden. Like they don't know say we are the chosen. Them entitled and privileged. Them could call another human race savage. It's nothing but a sacrilege when we get used as collateral damage. Racial profiling. It's a serious thing. Bird with a wing. Racial profiling. Listen me, king, this on your top of ranking. Racial profiling. It's a serious thing. Bird with a wing. Please, that people. In the 23 yards. Belly King. La Ruta Maya history. Who are the baddest pala you ever see? Berries. Who? Berries. Yo, I see why this alongside the swingers. Yeah, me old star. Who might win the battle? What are we win the war? We can do. Look out that Kevlar. The burn is done. Champion, I realize Patan Rasta Mira make they know that just so we function. That's a plan, organic conception. Rasta Mira moving like an army of one. People champion, I realize Patan Rasta Mira make they know that just so we function. That's a plan, organic conception. Rasta Mira moving like an army of one. This year one year. One man in a polluted east, ruling the root of Maya. Don't survive our psychics could handle pressure. Even when they bout it, we still know what under. We know we take good. Last year we know. We know we in Japan or the one they from China. We have fans all over. Uncorazal and Liga. CY and Francis that we sponsor. Living on this stamina. We see our could I win this race in one hour? We know we back like the unknown star. The crowd back when the battle hit the water. No retreat, no surrender. To a many people, there's something we remember. We don't follow trend, we that trendsetter. Definition after Rastabira. Rastabira is the people's champion. I realize Patan Rasta Mira make they know that just so we function. That's a plan, organic conception. Rasta Mira moving like an army of one. People champion. I realize Patan Rasta Mira make they know that just so we function. That's a plan, organic conception. Rasta Mira moving like an army of one. This is a great thing. Major props. King. Thanks to all the love where we get from love, my friend. But this is a warning to the cheap pretending. You get in the river with me if you can't swim. Next year know, they try to hang on like static clean. That's how they were the people champion. Now we like Spatman, Rasta, Pira, maintain that just so we found time. That's your plan, I got the conception. Rasta, Pira, moving like an army of one. People champion. Now we like Spatman, Rasta, Pira, maintain that just so we found time. That's your plan, I got the conception. Rasta, Pira, moving like an army of one. Gosh. To the left, to the left, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the right, to the right. No, jump fire, jump fire, jump fire, jump fire, jump fire, jump fire, jump fire. If you don't believe it, take a picture and freeze it. Aluna get room in a can release it. Watch how we steer it, maneuver and balance it. One eye on the falls and still navigate it. We look at that civic, we no one will live. We use our draw the people, they watch we like Netflix. So take a break and please it, back and who release it. Now a real Rasta Piera, here in this shit. Oh no serious like them virus. Nothing you can do fi catch up, so we know the quarrel, we know the fuss. Babies and people help me sing before us. Rasta be the people's champion. I realize Spatman, Rasta Pira, maintain. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme. First, make you see how far your back bend. If you don't know how, get less if I can rent. Turn your body round like a smoothie or the blend. New dance trend. Style we no borrow, style we no lend. For sure, we no the beg no friend. From in the thing from way back when for the elders and the children. Can't do the thing they gonna do it like charge. Back it up in the garage. Make them know we squad living large. All a salute every sarge. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again. Introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme. We like when you shake it. Never gonna DR, we can't fake it. Entire yam, authentic. Mama take 9 months to make it. Act like you didn't need Johnny cake before you bake it. Take a pass to the cars, then twerk it. Then your style you can't buy the new market. All of the styling bang surpass it, yo. Watch when they blaze it. Have the tremble like we don't tease it. Tell the DJ, rewind it. Bust a sweat and work it. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme. From Baka Jungle all the way to Yabra, Corozal and London Griga. Check Pamali's sister Julia, teaching the tourists that he kaka. Through the alley and the plaza, go jump past 41 mile marker. If you want something extra, I want you that feel Librata. There for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, ling bang. Big bully in a pen, ling bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, ling bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, ling bang. Big bully in a pen, ling bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme.
They say you never miss your water until your well run dry. And overspilled milk, a big man is not supposed to cry. Well then,
Butterbrimo, if you're the woman, Butterbrimo. Them could have charged her for sin. Butterbrimo, straight cleaning, in search of fucking. Butterbrimo, fully they made examine, figure and lose such a sweet browning. Butterbrim, now it's the dread she call it when she need sexual healing.
anyways, one man lost is another man's gain. If you can't handle the traffic, then stay out the lane. Behind her beautiful smile, she was hiding her pain. You couldn't see the tears due to the falling rain. But with a woman emotions, son, you don't wanna play games. Then got certain moves I want put her to shame. And then you begging and you balling will all be in vain. When I bet she call the next morning. Remember all of the first time you meet it. You have to do that much more for keep it. Candlelight dinner, wine and chocolate. Don't forget the roses, big man, you stalk it. You should have me walk her down to the pulpit and remove her sexy ass from off for the market. Your friends don't have no woman, but them calling you whip. And like an idiot, you believe it. Butterbrimo, if you're the woman, Butterbrimo. Them gonna charge her for sin. Butterbrimo, straight cleaning, in search of fucking. Butterbrimo, fully made examine, figure and lose such a sweet specimen. Butterbrim, now it's the dread she call it when she need sexual healing. A woman is a gift unto humanity. Treat her with respect and dignity. Heed the words of the great Tyrus Riley. She royal, will treat her like royalty. She works, she cooks, she clean and wash your stinking laundry. All she wanted in return was your loyalty. Could I make her a carnival free karaoke? Her love just come down and she need a remedy. You met her at the peak of her sexuality. Wrong time to leave a big woman lonely. Pretty like an angel, but she well freaking. And now she feeling horny. Income not a dread to fulfill her fantasy. She blows when I whisper sweet nothing softly. She's on a journey. On to ecstasy. Butterbrimo, if you're the woman, Butterbrimo. Them gonna charge her for sin. Butterbrimo, straight cleaning, in search of fucking. Butterbrimo, fully they made examine, figure and lose such a sweet brownie. Butterbrim, now it's the dread she call it when she need sexual healing. Fool name, know him the holy name palm my hand. Woman recently inherited acres of land. Cassava, cocoa, ganja and yam. Yeah, stripping out the box to make the Cessna land. DJ, turn up the bass and make the dance all ram. See why not the building with a brand new slang. Word to the wise, all my youth man. You need exceptional skills to keep a good man. Main ingredient, communication. Stop listening for answer and for listen for overstand. All she ever needed was your affection, your kissing, caressing, and attention. You couldn't solve this complex equation. So go back under the rock, hence you crawl out from. You get the test and you feel the exam. Nobody dread, they read the diagram. Butterbrimo, if you're the woman, Butterbrimo. Them gonna charge her for sin. Butterbrimo, straight cleaning, in search of fucking. Butterbrimo, fully they made examine, figure and lose
Uno no see nothing yet. Uno no hear nothing yet. Uno no know nothing yet. Uno better not say nothing yet. We want to know how somebody not dead yet. Eradicate all threats. Oh. Living in a Bobby wrong, and nothing nice. Life no have no value, but death's got a price. What's all 2 foot mice because planting no they eat like rice. Living in a Bobby wrong, and nothing nice. Life no have no value, but death's got a price. What's all 2 foot mice? Planting no they eat like rice. Surviving to me, it's my Kongan achievement. Now my main objective is just to stay on the pavement. I see cats go from showity to obscurity. Self-inflicted mental enslavement. All I ever needed was just a little taste. No, I'm after the paper like Gregory at Chase. The industry is trying to welcome me back like Mace. All bad boys, don't watch your face. I'm getting into cats' pockets before they go get in mine. I spit 82 bars before the replay could bust a rhyme. And the moms of shine is like a moms of mine. Big ups to all my cats on the grind. Rapping ain't easy, but I've done put in my bid. It's like the devil's playground, you can't be scared or timid. One life I've got, many lives I'll give. Cold talk, you know, we keep it frigid. BX 168 Gerard, but I treat the Big Apple like yard. We could do this my way, we could do this hard. Back off slowly or start talking to God. If it ain't assets or plastics, you ain't got no money. If it ain't high grade, you're not rolling the bunny. If it ain't litter, it ain't sweet like honey. All thanks to Jah, even my nights is sunny. You could have $1 in a dream, but you've got to be asleep. You could be the president, you just got to pick the right seat. You can't be friends with everyone you meet. Ain't nothing nice in the NYC street. But if the devil offered you water, would you die of thirst? If you seen an old lady, would you snatch her purse? Would you mind being second if you couldn't be first? Would you mind clapping guns as I rate this verse? And I do what I do like I'm doing it for a feature. You be the creature, reverse your polarity, go against your nature. See how many of these niggas is really gonna hate you. Living in a Bobby wrong, and nothing nice. Life no have no value, but death's got a price. What's all 2 foot mice because planting no they eat like rice. Living in a Bobby wrong, and nothing nice. Life no have no value, but death's got a price. What's all 2 foot mice? Planting no they eat like rice. I'll make you black hotter than Belize tamale. You'll be assed out like Usay and Kusay. Who say at the end of this call you can't dangle? I'll stroll past your makeshift memorial and blow out your candle. Tip it like Fandango. You'll turn a lot of shade of pale. I ain't afraid of no ghosts, another brag, another boast. East Coast, West Coast, anniversal. I'll leave you stuck at rehearsal. Reversal of fortunes. Time to let the light shine like the Neptune. Then evap to the boondock. Still keep it in the car. Still be gritty. Still be nutty. The only reason to blow through the city is to scramble brain dead challenges. I'm bullets like Wall Street. Gojin or battlers like ballistic heat. I keep it constant, consistent, potent. It's with bad intent I spit. Us, let them know. Lots of goons moving it. If I can't dazzle him with brilliance, I'll have to baffle him with bullshit. I'm here setting trends, believe it. Living in a Bobby wrong, and nothing nice. Life no have no value, but death's got a price. What's all 2 foot mice because planting no they eat like rice. Living in a Bobby wrong, and nothing nice. Life no have no value, but death's got a price. What's all 2 foot mice? Planting no they eat like rice. That the Fred don't say, all haters could just raise up like they got seen on it. Incognito, like Nick Romano. We live with life in a stealth mode. Off for them decks when we touch road. No half a clip, we carry the full load. We keep the pedal to the metal, the floorboard. We live life in a stealth mode. Cause enough for them decks when we touch road. No half a clip, we carry the full load. We keep the pedal to the metal, floorboard. You like the game, but the game not like you. You only talk big when you're dead along with your crew. But when you're solo, in the morning do. Skip to me loo. Remember say, we come up from mud. We not just plaster, we apply mud. Girlfriend tick like mud. Cannot stop the blessings we come from above. We live with life in a stealth mode. Offer them decks when we touch road. No half a clip, we carry the full load. We keep the pedal to the metal, the floorboard. We live life in a stealth mode. Cause enough for them becks when we touch road. No half a clip, we carry the full load. We keep the pedal to the metal, floorboard. When they touch it, cool. Bars expensive like fuel. Crown jewel. Directly from out of the jewel. Accoutrements, offer them fraudulent. Act like they know say dead permanent. Treat we like heads of state parliament. We have too much things to only they talk about disarmament. Disarmament. We live with life in a stealth mode. Offer them decks when we touch road. No half a clip, we carry the full load. We keep the pedal to the metal, the floorboard. We live life in a stealth mode. Cause enough for them becks when we touch road. No half a clip, we carry the full load. We keep the pedal to the metal, floorboard. So snake, all in a church, them a leash like lurch. If we demise, then they constantly search. Me good name, them why they try to besmirch. Cause we dey move enough merch. One of one. Tunnel vision. Myself than me own competition. That's why the arts that my religion. We live life in a stealth mode. Offer them decks when we touch road. No half a clip, we carry the full load. We keep the pedal to the metal, the floorboard. We live life in a stealth mode. Cause enough for them becks when we touch road. No half a clip, we carry the full load. We keep the pedal to the metal, floorboard.
Yeah, it's the samurai here. This is the Sound and Smoky production. Music and the construction. Here one. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap when you can't reach it. Burr, and no mean it. All I say about man, but you never did squeeze it. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap where you can't reach it. Burr, and no mean it. All I say about man, but you never did squeeze it. Smoky, run the rhythm and watch it beat it. Make them know say we have nothing to play with. Somebody can't make it, so then they fake it. Delete it when it gets toxic. Food please, you cannot see the forest because of the cheese. We keeping this thing at 100 degrees. Moving like the cartel straight to believe. While under the bun cold, and I man keep scribing scroll. The real story have never been told. How we bring nobody from out of the cold. After me, them rock the warriors. Dangerous as Ricky, front of your goal. Fire, such up and roll. Swimming at the deep and the down the that show. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap where you can't reach it. Burr, and no mean it. All I say about man, but you never did squeeze it. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap where you can't reach it. Burr, and no mean it. All I say about man, but you never did squeeze it. Think deeper than the blues past the reef. From this inferno, no relief. They don't want to put in their work alongside their belief. Indian, they try be chief. Claim you're the preacher, big teeth. Call yourself Rasta, still want beef. Want be wolf, woolly like sheep. Go away like leaf. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap where you can't reach it. Burr, and no mean it. All I say about man, but you never did squeeze it. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap where you can't reach it. Burr, and no mean it. All I say about man, but you never did squeeze. Tell me, where the world come from? Real bad intention, manifestation of Satan, real demon, smoky dawn. Change the station, this cannot spring. Marathon sufferation apart. I got a plan, who got through the trials and tribulations. Me one, see I do this initiation. Music our life, we pass on. Get ready for the sacrifice dedication. Now they want join in celebration. Talk about compilation. Catch them the show, free the caution. Respect to the dance. Principles we stand for. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap where you can't reach it. Burr, and no mean it. All I say a bad man, but you never did squeeze it. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap where you can't reach it. Burr, and no mean it. All I say a bad man, but you never did.
Yeah, Ezekiel call them dry bones. One must know, men have lost their course on a tourboat, drift from shore without anchor and rope, unsecure. Amazing the battering wind and the trade waters. Golgotha's Titanic, egotistic big ship got rapture. Self-destruct disaster out there on the ocean floor. We can run, hide and peek. Conscience will surely find it. Skip, jump and leap. A clean heart certainly give it. Run, hide and peek. Conscience surely find it. Kneel. Well, blameless and upright Job was allotted his own sector. 7 sons, 3 daughters, he was anointed by the Holy Father. Haile Selassie Kadama will give it to those who honor and respect his word. Keep his word, fear in him heart and love for the Almighty God, adoration for the King of Kings and all the blessings therein, and also his kin in the land of Oz. He was the Wizard of Oz. Early morning, wake up and toiling, nothing funny for money. Holy I Selassie Kadama we see this worthy unto him, no hide and peeping. We can run, hide and peep. Conscience will surely find it. Skip, jump and leap. A clean heart certainly give it. Run, hide and peep. Conscience surely find it. Kneel. Yeah. Bow down your soul and your heart, render not your garments, but accept the almighty tenements. Holy I Selassie, I set the commandments. Pay keen attention and adore him. Ignore him and it's deep sea failure. Why thou trespass the waters of danger? No hide and peeping, seek and find him. Holy I Selassie, I dear Baba, he got the answer. Might of the Trinity, yes, he holy order and is the power. Holy I Selassie, I give it the minute and the hour. He is the watchtower. He can run, hide.
Oh shit, that's a guitar in the background. You gotta take it on, right? Pick it up, right?
Yo, Rope in again. Once again, why alongside Kevin? All Rasta, massive, everyone knows. All Rasta, yeah, loud and clear. Make your bed out and kneel, you have to sleep on it. Other people business, you better stop peep on it. Only your friends can know about your secret. If Adam you, I would have just keep it. Make your bed out and kneel, you have to sleep on it. Other people business, you better stop peep on it. Only your friends can know about your secret. Don't reveal it. Yo, nowadays highly inclined. Sweet instead of that they invent rhyme. We forefathers they touch it way before time. Proverbs, make it way in a line. Them say, seek and ye shall find. Them must set the road so with lots of signs. Hard head, soft behind. That's why hard head, big nigga market 2 times. And I'm on step on the grind. We teach the Rasta use the way the system designed. The one I'm on a king in the land of the blind. So don't do the crime if you can't do the crime. Don't try to kill the messenger, cause the message is sublime. You can't have no clue who the bell jam. You can't proceed if you don't get no sign. Friend of an enemy is not a friend of mine. Is not a friend of mine. Make your bed out and kneel, you have to sleep on it. Other people will be there, so better stop peep on it. Only your friends will know about your secret. Now, don't me sleep on it. Other people business and better stop. Only your friends could know about your secret. If I had me, you I would have keep it. Try not to take it for joke. Time longer than rope and rope. Greedy puppy will eventually choke. Can't sing my story, make your boat float. You cannot feel if you never ever try. Spit in the sky, you won't fall back in your eye. Spill milk, you can't cry. Never miss your water till your well run dry. Make your bed out and you'll have to sleep on it. Other people business, you better stop it on it. Only your friends gonna know about your secret. Yo, so you reveal it. Make your bed out and you'll have to sleep. Other people business, you better stop it. Only your friends gonna know about your secret. If I am you, I woulda just keep it. Stop up people business from blast can't show soon. In your house, make out a lot of it. Pay the cost if you want be the boss. Rolling Stones, gather no man. King Lion only lose no sleep. Over the pinion of no sheep. Still waters, run deep, you can't walk. If you never land off the creek, stop talk. Before you think, if you search shit, it must stink. The chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Girls look pretty in a pink. Make your bed out and nearly half the sleep on it. Other people business, tell no better stop sleep. Only your friends could have know.
I believe that massive, me begging if you just look progressive because you live like real life it will live. Let them earthquakes like Jackie. General the ball, ready for forget, no forgive. Aggressive, assertive, attentive, innovative. Black people representative. We want to just lean back and check remotive. Sing out.
Right now, you them they kill one another. Right now, all the time, feel the prayer to the Father. Right now, believes under fire. Right now, right now, right now, right now. Youth and they kill one another. Right now, all the time, feel the prayer to the Father. Right now, spread the news to your brother. Right now, right now, right now, right now. Blind lead the blind. Prophecies fulfilled. Signs of the times. When Satan billions, them call it white collar crime. Granny scrape the pennies, but she cannot find a dime in the country. One more wrong and that them coke and wine. If vanity, then they try this time and time. So they might get snatched up from behind and bleed to the eye when job bind the twine. Cause of them, the economy on decline. Moral fabric of society on decline. Ecosystem on decline. Them could have started all day one thing they can't find. And that's a peace of mind. Sing right now, you say they kill one another. Right now in the time, really pray to the Father. Right now, believes under fire. Right now, right now, right now, right now, you say they kill one another. Right now in the time, really pray to the Father. Right now, spread the news to your brother. Right now, right now, right now, right now. Hey boy, move savage. Poor people need 10 more stimulus package. To all them fools, but them cause all the damage. Boom! Yes, I know, find nothing in the wreckage. Big cigar, hunting cottage. Why you see the globe check? Horse and carriage. Look like they want with the start eat out a garbage. Bump that, red dot, melon flip bust like cabbage. Wake up, smell the raw sewage. Junk custom up to digest all the carnage. Poor people not forgetting no left wing. So them left way, the whole is sinking luggage. And boy, I did get the message. Read the Bible but miss certain passages. Collins, up to Cartley. Once again, Collins. Right now, use them, they kill one another. Right now, all the time, really pray to the Father. Right now, believes under fire. Right now, right now, right now, right now, use them, they kill one another. Right now, all the time, really pray to the Father. Right now, spread the news to your brother. Right now, right now, right now, right now. Blind lead the blind. Prophecies fulfilled. Signs of the time. When Satan billions, them call it white collar crime. Granny scrape the pennies, but she cannot find a dime in the country. One more wrong and that them coke and wine. If vanity, then they try this time mankind. So they might get snatched up from behind and bleed to
the highway, just bind the twine, cause of them economy on decline, moral fabric of society on decline, ecosystem on decline, them could have start all day, one thing they can't find, and that's a peace of mind. Sing right now all the time, feel the prayer to the Father right now, believes under fire right now, right now, right now.